Alyn Smith, Scottish National Party MEP, the European Commission setting out what it might do to reform the Common Agricultural Policy today. What does it all mean for Scotland's farmers?
Well, this is good news, and the good news is that the PAC report, which the Scottish Government commissioned Brian Pack as an industry leader to put together, actually chimes very well with where the Commission's going as well. Now, this is very much the starting gun in a 2-year process, and I like what I've seen so far. The Commission's come in for some pretty unfair criticism about there's not enough detail. Well, of course there isn't. We're 2 years away from that, and it's our job to come up with the flesh on the bones, which the Commissioner has set out today, and what he has made very clear is that the key point to the Common Agriculture Policy is maintaining food production in Europe. We're not hostile to environmental schemes or to other peripheral activities, but this is good news for the farmers of Scotland producing the food we eat.
I mean, you say that there are some good things in there that you like the look of. I mean, can you sort of flesh that out any more? What kinds of things is the European Commission indicating it wants to do that you think would be good news for Scotland's farmers?
Well, crucially, the Commission has resisted calls from some member states, including the UK Treasury, to actually end direct payments to farmers full stop. We've seen this particularly with the UK's attitude over the EU budget. Now, the whole point to the single market within agricultural products is that as we have a single market to sell into and buy from, that means that our farmers can specialise in goods that will actually add value. So that's why Scotch beef and Scotch lamb get such a premium, because we can trade internationally. So the Commission is maintaining that system and maintaining direct payments to farmers, so they've resisted pressure from some of the member states, so that's very good news, and much of the other detail of the proposals will be worked out in due course. But we've also seen notes for less favoured areas, which of course we've got a great deal of in Scotland, where you can't really do much other than graze sheep because it's rocky or it's hilly or it's cold or whatever else it might be, and we are seeing those areas very much part of the proposals as well. So it's good news and a thumbs up from the SNP for this.
And what about, we've heard a lot of talk about the sort of potentially the greening, as people like to say, of the Common Agricultural Policy. What's said in today's documents, and again, what might that mean for Scotland's farmers?
Well, essentially the greening of the Pillar 1, as it's called, the direct payments, means that farmers will be given additional credit for the environmental work they do. So that means if a farmer's going to put some hedges in instead of fences, there will be additional payments for that. Now that's continuing current practice, but extending it a wee bit. The important thing is to remember that the purpose of the Common Agricultural Policy is producing food, and if you're doing other stuff that's good for the environment, like draining wetlands or putting wetlands in even, and depending on the geography you're working with, there will be additional budgets available for that. So that's good for the environment, good for Scotland's wider environmental activities. So I'm liking a great deal of what I'm seeing today.
And what about the overall budget? Because at the end of the day, what comes out of this reform is going to depend very much on how much money there is. Are you concerned about the budget? Should Scotland's farmers be concerned about the overall budget?
Well, this is the $64 billion question, almost literally. The way that the EU works is that you've got to work out what you want to do and how much that's going to cost, and then you bid for that money. You don't find out how much you're getting and then work out what you want to do. So we're starting that 2-year process, and this will be hotly contested over the budget. Budgets are tight, we know that. We've got to make sure we get value for every public euro that's spent, and we absolutely should. But food security has to be part of our national security in Scotland, the UK and the EU. We're seeing massive food price inflation around the world. We're seeing particular problems about the food supply chain. For the food we eat, we've got to make sure that we maintain food production infrastructure within the EU. That's worth paying for, and this is the start of a process that will work out how we should achieve the best value for money.
I mean, you say the European Commission is sort of continuing with direct payments, and that's good news for Scotland's farmers. I guess, is it very hard to say yet that, whether Scotland's farmers will get the same level of direct payments that they get at the moment?
Well, historically, Scotland's already underrepresented in the allocations that we receive, so a rebalancing may well even see us getting more than we're presently getting. But that is a long way into the future yet. We've got to work out how the budgets are going to be orientated, and then we've got to work out how much money is going to be in the budget. So there's a few question marks over that yet, but it's up to us to make the case, and it's up to us to make sure that the environmental, the social, the employment, the economic and the food production advantages of Scottish agriculture are recognised by European policies, and I think we've got a friend in the European Commissioner.